Hello sewing friends, Deb here, Slap Happy Sewing. I am going to bring you an episode of Friday Sews, come what may. I haven't been doing sewing as such, sewing new garments. I think I've sewn one new garment, but what I have been doing is looking through my wardrobe and trying to alter certain clothes and seeing if the things that I don't wear very much, if I can get myself to wear them. Here's an example. This dress, this is a cashmerette. Oh, what is the name of this dress? Anyway, it had an ordinary round neck, but I think I must have lost a bit of weight since I made this. Maybe I made this in 2019. And it's got a bit of elastic in the back of the waist because I wanted to give it some extra room. So, but it generally was hanging, what it was hanging off my shoulders all the time. So what I did was, I always look in the most slap happy, least effort way. I basically just sewed it there and put a little channel with some elastic to pull it in, and hopefully that will do the trick. The dress, I'll see if I can get a photo of it, but the dress probably looks better with a belt these days because, yeah, although I'm not very confident about wearing belts. I feel like it draws attention to the part of me that is fattest, which is my middle. Anyway, I'll get over that. To say is I bought, I'll show you that, talking of belts, the elastic belts. I bought a couple of elastic belts. I got them in a charity shop, and I must admit I don't find belts very comfortable to wear, but these are much more comfortable. It's just like wearing a piece of elastic. So if you're not a belt wearer but you do want to get a belt, have a think about getting one of those in a charity shop or something, or probably even in a real shop. You could actually buy things full price. The next thing I did was I bought this in a charity shop and really liked it. I knew it was too big a size. And I'll show you here. This is another charity shop garment, and I've just unpicked the interfacing from the neck because actually it's a bit big for me, this thing, but I don't really mind the bigness, you know, here, because I think that's all part of the style. But I thought, well, what I could do is take in a tuck here, and that's why I've unpicked the neck. Take in a tuck here to make the neck less gapey. I might even take in a tuck at the back. It may or may not be necessary. But I do actually like this because it's very loose and airy. So what I did was I took the neck in, and then I put some bias binding, and I basically put a seam down the front to take some of that in. But I've worn it now a couple of times and it's still falling off my shoulders. I think the thing to do probably is to take something in at the back. It's still really quite big for me. So I'm going to try and be very slap happy and just fold it at the back like that. I might put a button or something on it and then take it all the way down. I mean, it's such a busy print, you can't really see what's going on, but just to stop it from falling off my shoulders. Next, oh, this is another charity shop buy. Haven't done anything with these yet, but one thing I have been doing is looking through my trousers, and many of them would work a whole lot better if the crotch curve was altered a little bit. So I must do that with these ones. Funnily enough, usually it's the tummy that's it doesn't quite come up over my tummy, but this one, for some reason, the tummy's all right, but the back is down a little bit. Anyway, that's something to do. This one. Okay, so I'll show you this. This was a muslin for this pattern. M7969, which was a free pattern, McCall's pattern. I think I got it free with Minerva or something. Anyway, I like the look of it. I know it's very loose, and I was delighted to find out that I am the biggest size in this pattern according to the pattern. So I basically got an old sheet and made the biggest size. Now, learnings from this. First learning is, even though a sheet might seem thin, they're not very drapey. I guess it probably has some polyester in it, so it doesn't kind of drape. But I didn't want to waste my good fabric until I was really sure. Point two, I did a full bust adjustment, and that was good because it made the front go down properly across my bust. I took one look at the one here, and this woman is a very slender woman without a whole lot of bust, and that bust line is only just below her boobage, whereas mine, it would be on my boobage. So that worked well. I think I've done a good job of that by doing the full bust adjustment. I managed to put the sleeve on back to front, so let me just show you that. So the moral of this story is, I think this one is going to have to be retired as fabric. I might just put it in the spare cupboard. I mean, it's possible that I could cut the sleeves off and just make them into short sleeves. It is a bit too full. I think, yeah, I don't know if there's anything I could do with it. I'm probably not ready to get rid of it yet. I'll put it in the spare room cupboard and come back to it. And if I still feel it's too much to do, I won't do anything with it. I do like the colour though, and I like the binding here. I bought this little piece of fabric in a sale. Where is it? Is it here? Oh, I don't know where it is. But I bought it entirely for making bias binding because it's got a really lovely small pattern. And I've discovered that actually I quite like wearing clothes that have got that are plain but have a little bit of binding or some interest on them. So there. Yes. And another project I've got is, I bought that in a charity shop, and I thought, oh well, I'll make that. I'll make bias binding out of that. But I'll show you what it looks like on. It looks like pyjamas when it's on. However, I don't know, maybe there's something I can do with this. Not sure yet. I'll let you know if I have a rush of blood to the brain. Another thing I've been doing is making granny squares. In fact, really since the weather, before the weather got warmer, I have been sitting in front of the fire every evening and making these granny squares. In fact, I think I have something of a granny squares obsession. I'll show you them now, but I'm coming to the point where I'm kind of using up all the wool that I bought, which probably if I added it all up would come to quite a lot of money. But it's been fun, but I feel like I want to complete these projects and move on now. Here are the results of my granny square obsession. So I made this blanket. And as you can see, I've made it into sort of 4 squares. It's just a throw really, and I liked it so much, even though it doesn't really match the colours in the sitting room, I've left it there. But moving on, then my daughter liked it so much, she wanted one. So I've made that one for her. I've just finished that and darned in the ends, but I need to put a fringe on it. I think she wants a fringe. One thing I'm finding though is both of them, I guess you should really press them, as in block them, but in many ways I don't like knitting when it doesn't look nice and full and homemade. So I'm a bit so I've pulled that out and it's basically stretched out. If I don't pull it a bit, it tends to, as you can see there, it tends to bubble up a little bit. I probably am going to have to block that one. Then because of I've got a certain amount of wool left, because doing that lot meant that I ended up buying lots and lots of wool, and it's all real wool. And then I have got a basket with lots of wool left, so I thought, well, let's use some of it up. And here I am. Now I'm not sure, that one's got a brown outer because I had a big ball of brown there and I had quite a bit of green, So it's got quite a lot of brown and green in it, although it is really, to all intents and purposes, random. But I'm not quite sure whether to make a bag out of that or a cushion cover. Yeah. The cushion cover, probably, I can't think of anywhere where I would use it except perhaps on my deck or something. And yeah, I'm not sure. Tell me what you think. But yes, that's the end of my granny squares obsession. I really do want to call it a day for the old granny squares now. And so that was me for today. Now I am sort of thinking, why not do a bit of casual vlogging over Vlogmas? And that definitely wouldn't be every day, but I think I'd like to share with you some of our, you know, life in New Zealand and Christmas in New Zealand. Secret, it's not really very Christmassy in New Zealand. Having Christmas in the middle of summer, you know, does not work. Not for me anyway. My husband and I, we have lots and lots of discussions about this, heated discussions. But yeah, I think if you've grown up thinking, you know, of Yule being the winter and, you know, Christmas being all about the dark and then it doesn't really work. But so I think I will show you what goes on in New Zealand over the Christmas period. So I hope you enjoyed today, and I will talk to you again soon. Oh, one thing I want to do over Christmas, I'm just saying it now to remind myself as much as you, is to make a very few Christmas presents. I don't like putting pressure on myself, but last year I made some doorstops and people have mentioned them and how much they enjoyed them, and that's been really gratifying. So, and of course it's another way of using up lots of scraps and things. I don't think I'll make doorstops, but I'm going to think about what I might make. If you've got any suggestions, put them in the comments below. Also, please do hop on and say hello to me, because I know many of you, well, you probably wouldn't watch me unless you've watched me before, because YouTube isn't going to do me any favours sharing me out to anyone. So bearing in mind that probably a lot of you have watched me before, please hop on and say hello, because I really do recognise some of your names and it makes me smile. Tell me how things are going for you, what's on your sewing table and what you're doing for Christmas. So I look forward to hearing from you. Talk to you again soon. Bye.